All right, well, cheers and welcome everyone to Happy Hour with the Lincoln. We're now on episode number 48, where week by week I'll do my best to answer all of your stock market related questions. As I say in every one of these videos, if you have any questions that you'd like me to feature on some of these upcoming episodes, just send them my way. The email is support@thelincolnlist.com. And even if I don't put them on any of the upcoming episodes, I promise you, I will give you the respect and the courtesy that you deserve, and I will personally answer your question as soon as I possibly can. Also, don't forget, if you're trying to align yourself with a professional trading community, you're looking for a mentor, and you're trying to go to the next level with your trading, right here is the live trade room, the link to our live trade room. We trade live every day that the market is open. So click on this link. If you can't click on it, go to the website, thelincolnlist.com, click on the trade room tab, and you can start trading with us right away. Now, I want to do something a little bit different in this happy hour that I haven't done in the past, and that is revisit a topic, especially a topic that we talked about last week. Now, one of the reasons why I want to do this is because, number one, a lot of questions come in and is dealing with the same type of topic, and that is running a string of consistent winners together, making one mistake, and then just wiping it all out. Now, if you remember last week, the way I answered that question is that's the psychological part that hurts you. You feel like you're turning a corner. You feel like you're understanding how trading works, and all of a sudden you fat finger, you make a mistake, you botch your order, you disobey a stop, and then all hell breaks loose, and there's months of good work or weeks of good work go down the toilet in one bad trade. It's a very difficult thing for traders to continue to come back from. This is also something that I had suffered from myself back in 01, 2, and 3. And when I got to thinking about it, I answered it with the typical response of, you've got to control your losses. You've got to let your winners run. You've got to look at your profit factor. And that's a good answer, but then I started to think, wait a minute. That was the same thing that was told back to you in 2001, 2, and 3 when you were struggling with this, and it was more than that. This is a deeper problem. Self-sabotage and something like this, or having this continually happen to you, this is a deeper problem. So I remembered something, and we're going to go into that in just a second. What was it that I did? There was something that I had figured out. But first, let me read this question, and then we'll kind of jump back to what it is I'm talking about. So if you don't remember the question, here's what it is. It says, I'm having the same problem over and over. I'll go on a hot streak that can last for weeks. Then within 1 to 2 trades, I've destroyed weeks and sometimes months of winning trades. I know you said in a prior video, it was wins against losses. But my question is, why do I keep letting it happen? Each time it happens, take a big loss. I get more discouraged and feel like quitting. It's like false hope that I can make it as a trader. The part I wanted to focus on was this is what I was going through. Why do I keep letting it happen? Why is this a chronic behavior problem? So what I remembered was, through me just trying to discover myself and become a trader, I remember this thing I read. It was called the knowledge action gap. Okay. Now, I don't remember what it was I read in 2001 and 2. I can't remember back that far. But I decided to Google it this time. I was like, yes, I remember this knowledge action gap. I've heard about this before. And if you don't know what it is, what it is that it's having knowledge, knowing how to do something. Like, you understand how something works, but you can't take that and you can't turn that into action. I think even Tony Robbins has done a thing, knowledge to action. I mean, there's thousands of different speakers out there that talk about this topic. But that's what it is. So you could be a trader right now, and I assume a lot of you are if you've had any experience whatsoever. You know how to find a stock to trade. That's like a really easy thing to do. Within a month or two, you can read a damn chart. I've said it before. It's red and green. You draw support resistance lines like a straight line. It's not high-tech stuff. It's what happens after you enter the trade, or it's executing that game plan like you've written it out. So it's taking that knowledge, but then it's executing that knowledge to the best of your ability and making money. So anyway, while I'm kind of going through this here, I run into this video, and I'm going to post up there. You can Google the person if you want. It's Mel Robbins. This lady's talking about this same very topic. Now, a lot of this, I'll warn you, is about relationships and people trying to lose weight, quit smoking, just standard motivational stuff. But the more I start to listen about this knowledge action gap and all this stuff, it's all the same. Like, and what I mean by that is, if you're trying to quit smoking, or you're trying to lose weight, or you're just trying to be better in a relationship, those same kind of disciplinary principles that you need to apply to your behavior are the same things that you're going to need to apply to be successful in business or in trading. Now, if you remember, even in a couple, I think it was last week's or maybe a week before that, I put that question in there about sloppy life, sloppy business. If you have a sloppy business, you can't take care of yourself, you can't pay your bills, you can't be on time for appointments, you're going to have a hard time taking that behavior and just all of a sudden becoming a shrewd business person. And this is why I want to talk a little bit about it, because the real deep question here was the same discovery that I had. You know you're screwing up. This is what we're all going to talk about. Let's just get down to the bottom line. You know you're effing this thing up. And you know you're not supposed to be doing something, but you're still doing it. So the question is, what do we do to stop ourselves, okay? So what this lady's talking about, and a lot of these other things, is that it's the way that you perceive things in your brain. Like your brain's constantly working for you. So one of the examples is like this. If you're going to go out on a first date with somebody or to a concert or to something that you're really looking forward to, you get butterflies in your stomach. You're really excited, right? And if you're going to take that same person later on, you're going to have an uncomfortable conversation, like you're going to dump him or something, or you're in a scary situation where you're going to get fired, you'll have the same type of butterflies in your stomach. So to the body, the old body here, it doesn't know the difference. It's just generating that same sort of action. You know, the butterflies, sweaty palms, nervousness. It's the brain that tells you whether it's pleasure or whether it's pain, okay? Now this is a little deeper than we go. I'm not a shrink. I have no psychological background, but the more I'm thinking about it, it's like, yes, I understand. And some of you probably understand. It's the brain that tells you whether this is a pleasurable feeling or a bad feeling. Now I can remember back like in 2002 when I was trading, and one of the things was with self-confidence is I always thought I was going to lose, because what happened to me is I did lose. You know, like I lost 160 freaking grand trading in like 98, 99 and stuff. So I had reasons, but every time I took a trade, I kept thinking that trades are painful. You know, I still had like the same kind of giddy emotions before I took a trade on a big winner. So when I had big winners, I had the same kind of excitement, that same kind of, thing in your system. And it's the same thing as going through a loss. It's just the brain's telling you it's pleasure because you made money, or the brain's telling you it's misery because you lost. So kind of going back to that, when I first read this, over a decade plus, I realized that what my problem was, and the reason I was sabotaging, was because it messed with I couldn't distinguish what opportunity was. So when I'm looking at taking a trade, let me try to make this easier for you. When I'm looking at taking a trade, I'm thinking that the very worst thing in the world is going to happen in all scenarios. And what it's making me do is not want to be in a trade. I don't want to be in a trade. I can do all the studying at night. I can look at all the charts. I didn't want to be in a trade. So the moment I got into one, I was all like nervous. I wanted a way out, because my brain is telling me it's this miserable, this is a horrible experience, something as bad is going to happen. It's almost like your fight or your flight, And your brain can be so powerful that it can work on you and literally turn itself on you. Because as this woman is saying, if you read, you actually watch this video and you go into some of it, your brain is always playing tricks on you. Because it does this because it thinks this is the right thing for you. It's trying to prevent you from getting hurt. So like when we always talk about, you want to go out and start a business, you always have people telling you and your family, oh, it ain't going to work, because they think they're out trying to help you. That's what your brain is telling you. Oh, this is going to be a painful experience. So to try to relay this, because I know I'm just ranting around here like a crazy lunatic, what my problem is, and the reason I kept repeating it, is because I didn't look at trading the right way. So when I entered a trade, I looked at trades as being pain. I looked at trades as being uncomfortable. I looked at being in a trade as a miserable experience because I had miserable experience. It wasn't until I changed the way I looked at the trade and said, I'm in the trade because I want to make money. So instead of looking at it as a miserable circumstance, I start looking at it as an opportunity. This is an opportunity I must take. So like when I want to go out of business, it's like, yeah, I know 9 to 5 is comfortable. Getting a weekly check is comfortable. But if I want X amount of dollars, I want to be rich, I want to live the life I want to live and all that good stuff, I have to deal with it. I got to do this. This is what I have to do. So I made that determination in my mind, around 2004 and 5, and said, I started looking at trading differently. Like, this is not about winning and losing, like this question. It's not about my statistics. It's not about profit factors. It's about me distinguishing that this is opportunity. So when I started going into trades thinking opportunity, I could make blah, 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 because this is an opportunity for me. This is an opportunity for me to get out of the mess I'm in. This is an opportunity for me to live the life I want. This is an opportunity for me to be successful. Things slowly started to change. My whole outlook about the market, the way I looked at things was completely different. The way I felt about loss was completely different, because by then I wasn't thinking about the losses I had early in my career as being miserable. I was thinking about doing a cost, it's a cost of business, doing business. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes when we have a problem like this, if you're somebody out there and you're self-sabotaging, you can't put anything together, you keep bouncing your head, you know what you should be doing, but you can't seem to do it, this is where it starts. It starts with you determining that this is a pleasurable experience, this is an opportunity, and this is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, and this is something that you're going to have to do. Now, obviously, it wasn't that easy. There was time you just, I can remember still to this day what it felt like, you pushing yourself through. I used to tell the story. I've been in, I can't remember what happy hour. It's been in a couple happy hours. I eventually got a kitchen timer, and I said, I am staying in this trade for 10 minutes. I would walk outside. I would go down the street. I'd pick up the phone and call somebody. I would do anything to any level that I had to do to keep me in the trade. Because if I said, I think it's going to work, it's going to take longer, then I would force myself through that. And the longer I forced and I kept going and I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it, it then became a habit. So this goes to step 2 of this, is that we're trying to build that habit. Right? That's what we're doing. So we got to get through that uncomfortable stage of thinking negative, of thinking bad, of sabotaging, of not obeying our plan, of not listening to our rules. We have to beat that out of ourselves. And after we do it for a month, then we're starting to build the right habits that we can be as traders. And again, guys, this is not just about trading stocks. This has to do with anything that you're going to do with your life, period. I mean, if you want to be successful at just getting a job interview with somebody and getting the job, or you want to start a business, you're trying to just get something from somebody that's going to better your life, you're going to need these types of skills. You're going to have to distinguish the difference between pain and pleasure, and you're going to have to tell your mind this is pleasure. Making bank is pleasure. And so until you can't, you do it. I think you kind of follow along. And then it goes into some really good stuff about, like, social media. What is it? Let me look it up for just a second. Yeah, it's social media depression. I don't obviously have time to go into the whole thing, but it's just sort of an example. Like, this is an actual clinical condition, like social media depression. I thought it was just some sort of lingo, but no, it's a real thing. And it's where you're looking at people and their life, stalking them on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, and the appearance of their life makes you feel worthless about yours. And one of the things they were saying is that if you control the first hour of the day, because the reason I'm putting this in there is it may help you guys actually start to take these steps. If you control the first hour of the day, you win the entire day. So what they're saying is that what a lot of people do, since you use your telephone as an alarm clock, you just sort of reach over in the morning, you get up out of bed, you look at it, you hit the snooze or whatever it is on your phone, and then you start checking your Facebook, your Instagram, and your other social media, and you see all these pictures, and everybody looks like they're doing good, and you start to be depressed. Whether you're completely depressed or it's just a small, subconscious thing, you're depressed. I think you follow what I'm saying, and you haven't gotten out of bed yet. So what really rich and successful people do, or those that are trying to make change, is that they don't look at social media. I don't look at social media when I get up. I always said before, I take like 30, 40 minutes to spend for myself before I start my work day. And that's just me trying to get up and just clear my mind and think about what I'm going to do. And this is what successful people do, because they're not looking at their social media first thing in the morning. They're figuring out, they're starting that first hour out of the day. What am I going to do today? What steps am I going to take to be better? And how am I going to get that done? That's what it is. So when we're talking about this knowledge action gap, you're taking that first problem. If you're a trader and you're struggling to say, what am I going to do today that was different than I did yesterday? What is the step that I'm going to take to fix this problem, to stay in a trade longer, to be more disciplined with my stops, to take bigger size, to reduce the amount of trades I haven't stopped scalping? What am I going to do? How am I going to fix this problem? And I've also said that before. You pick one problem and then you tackle it. So that's where you start. The solution to this problem is training the mind to look at this as opportunity, not pain. Is to look at the scenario of you trying to better yourself, not how much money am I going to lose, am I going to feel stupid? So you get up every day and the first thing that you do is you tell yourself, this is what I'm going to do today to fix it. Before you do anything else, don't check your emails, don't check your phone, don't talk to anybody. Just sit down there, write it down on a piece of paper and say, this is what I will do today. And then you focus that energy and attention on that one thing, distinguishing the opportunity, whatever, stop losses, size, and then you work on it. And you continue to work on it until you beat the demon within you. You take that pain and you replace it with pleasure, and you're good. So anyway, I got off going. This was huge. I'm just, I'll probably watch this thing back and go, what the hell are you talking about, guy? What are you talking about? But anyway, I thought it might help because, like I said, we're here to talk about the psychological part of trading. And there's a lot of watered down responses when it comes to trading. And I may have given one there last week just saying, well, you know, I mean, it's obvious you need more wins than losses. It's obvious you have to have more profit than you do losers. But if you keep doing it, what the hell's the problem, right? How am I going to fix it? So that's what I started thinking. How do you fix it? And I remember this. And I'm like, this is how I fixed it, you know? And I just went over those steps. So I didn't mean to get winded. I hope it helped. A little bit different this time. I'm going to cut it off right there and finish my whiskey, which, by the way, is like a swamp whiskey. Because I have like three, you can see I haven't really drank any of it since I started. It's not that good. Because I have like 3 different whiskeys. I have like Suntory, Jameson, Woodford Reserve, and Chivas. It's all in here. Just little small pieces of the bottle. So it stinks, and it smells like mouth-washing curry sauce or something. This is nasty. Anyway, enough of that. I want to thank you for watching the Happy Hour. Don't forget to send your questions. Until the next time, take care.